first 9 stages of this year's tour had been one for the ages. From the record-breaking outset in Utrecht, there had been high drama every day. Crosswinds, cobblestones, and mass pile-ups as the race wove its way through Holland, Belgium, and northern France. 2 yellow jersey abandons, Spartacus and the Panzerwagen, an African in the polka dots, Cavendish's 26th stage win, and at the end of it all, Christopher Froome in yellow and Sky in the ascendancy. Stage 10. The day after the rest day is a difficult day at the best of times. Everybody reacts differently. For some, a day of rest can throw a spanner in the works. For others, it offers a renaissance. The fact it was the first mountain stage of the race made it all the more daunting. All eyes were on the Maillot Jaune as the race hit the Pyrenees. Movistar were on the front as the peloton hit the base of the Col du Sudet at breakneck speed, their intention being to set up their leader and climber extraordinaire, Nairo Quintana. That pace had an immediate effect.
Some big names are slipping away from the yellow jersey group. Oh, Contador, what's he doing?
Sensing weakness, Team Sky took control, causing even more damage and in the process setting up Chris Froome for a devastating and decisive attack. Quintana tried to stay with the race leader, but was all to no avail. Froome finished a minute clear of the Colombian, and all the other GC contenders were left scattered in his wake. It was a tour-defining moment and a massive statement of intent. Stage 11, and the big question: how would the teams of the other GC contenders respond? For Contador's Tinkoff Saxo, the answer became immediately apparent. Go stage win hunting. And on one of the icon mountains, the Col du Tourmalet, Rafa Majka jumped clear of the lead group.
Rafael Majka has got daylight between himself and everybody else.
Then came the terrifying descents as riders ripped down at speeds in excess of 100 kilometers an hour. The new French darling, Warren Barguil, having to avoid all sorts in a mad dash to bridge the gap. Brave or reckless, you decide. On the final climb of the day, we saw how the other teams would respond, and it was Nibali who cracked first, again. Cycling is about heads and legs. According to Vincenzo, his problems lie with his legs. In his team principal, Alexander Vinokourov's very public opinion, all of the defending champions' problems are mental. Stage win for Majka. Another brave but ultimately futile second for Dan Martin. And Sky still very much in control. Stage 12. The final day in the Pyrenees. A Category 2 climb, 2 Cat 1s, and finishing on the Orcat Plateau de Bay. Once again, Sky rode tempo as a breakaway formed. Despite, or perhaps because of having such strength in numbers, the breakaway dithered and the rainbow jersey of Mikhail Kwiatkowski jumped clear.
Kwiatkowski decided to accelerate and to see if the world champion can win the most difficult stage in the Pyrenees.
But as the rain and hail fell, his challenge faltered on the steep gradient. And it was obvious the stage winner would come from one of the 3 chasing climbers, Joaquim Rodriguez, Jakob Fuglsang, and re-energized Romain Bardet. Further down the mountain, all the focus was on the attacks that would surely be launched.
Oh, there's a move by Contador.
Well, Vincenzo Nibali has gone from the front of the group. Valverde is now decided to stretch the legs. There he goes. Nairo Quintana has launched the attack.
It's hard enough to unsettle a rider when he has one trusted lieutenant by his side. But when you have not just a Port, but also a Thomas to protect you on those highest climbs, well, then you feel invincible. Another stage win for Purito, complete with longest and most elaborate celebration seen so far. And a case of as you were on the GC, thanks in no small part to G.
He's been there all the way through the first week, over the cobbles and the crosswinds, and he's up there in the mountains now, so no, fantastic ride for G.
Stage 13. Under a sweltering sun, the peloton left the Pyrenees behind and began its swing across the south of France. These are the dog days of a 3-week tour, an undulating transitional stage, although has now become customary, one with a sting in the tail.
Will this hill ever end? Can Peter Sagan find something? Now he sees the finish. Straight Van Avermaet, that was a brilliant victory.
Peter Sagan's wait continues. Stage 7 back in 2013 Tour remains his last Tour victory. And spare a thought for JC Perrault. That was some crash. And some road rash. Last year's runner-up showed real courage to get himself to the finish line. Stage 14. What would the Tour be if not a moving advertisement for the wonders of France? The first on display was Le Viaduc de Millar, and that was soon followed by Les Gorges du Tarn, one of nature's greatest wonders. But equally breathtaking was the action. A sizable and extremely talented group had been allowed to build an unbridgeable gap, and first of the big names to attack on the climb through Mende was Romain Bardet. He was joined near the summit by the metronomic Thibaut Pinot, and it seems as if France would soon be celebrating a second stage win.
You might have just seen that little hand signal coming from Thibaut Pinot, and he was saying to Bardet, come on forward, mate, you've got to work together, because if we don't collaborate here, we'll get caught by riders coming from behind.
But while the darling boys of French cycling danced around each other, Stevie Cummings burned past them onto the aerodrome runway.
Steve Cummings has won the day for MTN Quebec, the wildcard team, on the day they celebrate their great icon.
It was a stunning move by the Wirrellman. French fury, but what a wonderful way for the MTN Quebec team to celebrate Mandela Day. Behind, though, was the race within the race. Throughout the Pyrenees, we'd been waiting for a decisive attack from Nairo Quintana. Instead, he chose the climb to Mende, and he nearly made it stick. But Froome was made of stern stuff, and he refused to be cowed.
Quintana and Froome, just like it was back in 2013.
The Colombian gained enough time on TJ Van Garderen to leapfrog the American into second. Despite his relief at surviving another day, the Sky leader was not a happy man.
A spectator in the early parts of the race with a cup of urine threw it into my face and said, "Dopé."
As an ex-doper, I'm aware I'm part of Chris's problem as he and other members of Team Sky continue to pay the price for the mistakes of my own and previous generations. But for what it's worth, I believe Froome and his team to be clean. And I also maintain that the baseless insinuations of certain journalists and the actions of a tiny minority of fans are unworthy of our sport. It is wrong that clean riders today pay for the damage done by others in the past. Stage 15. A beautiful day's ride through the Lozère and Ardèche, finishing with the peloton bowling along the banks of the Rhône. Although Mark Cavendish had been dropped on the very first climb of the day, all the other big sprinters were massed at the front for what promised to be a classic bunch sprint for the line.
Andre Greipel goes. Degenkolb is trying desperately. Can Greipel make it three? Degenkolb is giving it everything. Andre Greipel takes it on the line.
Once again, to Greipel the glory. Stage 16. And the final transition stage before the second rest day. Still plenty of teams looking to salvage something from the Tour.
Now it's Ruben Plaza over the top for Lamprey.
And for many riders, hair-raising memories of the dangerous descent into Gap.
Oh, look at this, look at this. Warren Barguil. Oh, and he collided with Geraint Thomas, I think. Oh.
This is courage, this is what it's all about. He's defending his position in the overall standings. He wants to stay right up there. He was 6th overall at the start of the day.
You know what?
Chapeau, I have to say.